I'm looking at the papers and I'm seeing a lot about how the county has spent my money. What are your thoughts?
First of all, my concern is when you read the report and read the newspaper, they don't tally. So I wondered which report is this that the media have read. Because when you read this report, it gives you a very wide scenario of why we need to spend more wisely. This one goes to one issue. County government wage bill is too expensive and it's going to undermine devolution and it's going to undermine development. That's not what this report says.
But from the title that I could read, I mean, I felt like as a tax-paying citizen, I would really love to know if the county is spending my money wisely, and this article tells me it isn't. Should I not be satisfied with that information? I
don't know. When the media picks up a report and puts out an opinion on the report in the media, I think they're bound to give a balanced view. This report talks about and the cost of implementing the new constitution. They consider the cost of the election system, which is now a 4-level election system. They also consider the cost of devolution, yes, but they also look at the historic way the national government has used its expenditure. So it doesn't just pinpoint salaries and wages at county level as the issue that's undermining development spending at the county. So the media, I think, have picked one page in, I think it's 68-page report, and they've blown it up. So you can't possibly get a balanced view. That's not possible.
So if you were to offer like a bullet point of what we have missed by what the media has offered, because even the television, what we had the governors responding to were the questions of how much they had spent in their counties on development.
In fact, I was so surprised with the governors because this report is good for them. Number one, it acknowledges that counties were not able to spend on developments in this financial year. Remember, this financial year is the first financial year, first full financial year. They didn't have capacity, they hadn't put staff in place, they hadn't passed their CIDP plans, they couldn't pass their budgets because of all those constraints. So inevitably, there were delays. So number one, the report acknowledges that. And if the governors had read that, they'd have seen, okay, the report is balanced. The second thing they acknowledge is that counties inherited costs that are eating into their development spending. They inherited staff, they inherited liabilities. And these should have been resolved by the national government through the transition process, and they were not. So like Nairobi County, all the money that is transferred to Nairobi goes to salaries because there was this there was a bargaining agreement that was signed with the staff, and the county came in and found they have to pay 40% extra on their salaries. So all the transfer that has been going to Nairobi County has been going to pay staff because that's what they inherited. So the problem with the way the media has covered it is that they have missed the context. What they're saying is true, but they have, out of 10 points, they picked one, highlighted it, and in so doing, distorted the entire picture, painting county governments and devolution in a very bad light. And that is just a very unbalanced view.
Is there anything positive from the report that you think could be one of the titles for these newspapers you read?
In fact, the report is cautioning Kenya. And it cites a number of factors that can really undermine the fiscal sustainability of devolution. Number one, it looks at national government. And it says national government wage bill is increasing instead of decreasing. How does the national government wage bill increase when its functions have reduced? So that you're finding national government is setting up more structures, paying more staff, while counties are trying to build up their structures. So there's a fundamental problem there. The report doesn't go into the details, it just cites that. So one of the problems is we have parallel structures. This is historic, and that the newspaper misses that. The other thing they talk about is the efficiency of national government in investment spending. So the expenditure on investments, the efficiency is decreasing. So they actually cite Kenya will not achieve its development targets if this trend continues. A very alarming trend is that they note that since 2010, with the passage of the Constitution, and possibly a bit before, The spending on operations and maintenance has been going down. It's been understated. That means if you have a hospital facility, you're not really maintaining it. You're paying staff, you're buying medicine, but you're not maintaining your facilities. This is a trend in the national government, and it means overall the quality of services and development is being diminished. And they say, so this is a problem of the national government, and it's also a problem with the county governments. So that is an issue that is very, of a lot of concern. They also talk about these development budgets. At the national level, a lot of the development budget is still funded by donors. And they actually say this donor money is not well aligned to the objectives of the government. It's not accountable, it's not transparent, it doesn't meet the thresholds for transparency, and this is a concern. So, there are some very fundamental issues that the report raises that require reflection. It's so disappointing that the media went populist and just took a very simplistic theme that will just get readership, but really does not underscore the important issues raised in the report.
What, in summary, do you think the citizen is missing out on?
Well, number one, the governors should have read the report before they responded to the media. Number two, media needs to look at its editorial. The journalists who did this and the whole policy of taking one issue out of a comprehensive report that raises substantial issues, I think is very biased. And you begin to think, is there an agenda? Because they are painting in the mind of people that this devolution is unsustainable, it's expensive. But really, the report doesn't say that county governments are the ones bloating the wage bill. National government is contributing to the bloat. Some of these issues are historical. Some of these issues are very fundamental. And you need to go beyond petty populist politics to get to that.